Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, friends. We were studying a specific sutta last week. Do you remember the name of the sutta? The teaching, discourse? Mahāparinibbānasutta, which means the great discourse on the Buddha's extinguishment. In simple English, it was about the Buddha's last days, probably about 3 months into the Buddha's life. That time Buddha's age was like 80 years old, and Buddha was leaving the places he stayed and was heading to the specific, like particular city called Kusinara. He was going to Kusinara city. Along the way, he was instructing the monks, whoever that he met. He was teaching about the special teachings. And this is very important sutta because it includes a lot of important topics. Okay. This was like something like conclusion of all the instructions that he gave in entire his life. He's summarizing and he's trying to establish the teachings more and more powerfully so that the future generations will benefit from that. He's giving all about like instructions. Probably there is more to this sutta. I mean, like what was going on during that moment, like in specific situations, especially in the commentaries. It speaks more about those teachings and how it was started, why Buddha wanted to teach those things while he was going to the that city he was passing away. But today we see like special like summarization of these special topics. Last day we studied about some of the special points about seven principles that prevent decline. That was we studied last week. Do you remember those?
Yes, Bante.
Just give me one, at least one. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Very good. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Very good. 2 points. Oh, exactly. Very good. 3.
They respect the elderly.
Yes. Very good. 4.
Say to take care to live in wilderness, lodgings.
Yes. Yes, 5.
How did he say that?
And there was also a special point like getting together with harmony and living in harmony.
I think one is respecting the monk, I think the elder.
Elder monks, yeah, very good. Yeah, you almost said everything. Very good. And he said that those things will help for the community, for the practitioners. Okay. And after explaining about those 7, again Buddha say, I will teach you 7 more principles that prevent decline. Which means he probably saw that in the future the teachings will decline. His order will decline. Yes, that's how the Buddhism, like the Buddha's teachings, disappear from the world. Because these people who are practicing does not fulfill all these points. So gradually it decay and disappear from the world at some point. So there need to be another Buddha to be born to reveal again this truth hidden in the life and how to get to that truth and what are the ways to practice. Then one by one Buddha explains this specific, like mostly people confuse with 2 things, like what is good and what is bad. That's what mostly people become perplexed and have doubt about. Then Buddha become enlightened and he reveal, this is the merit, this is the demerit, this is wholesome, this is unwholesome, this is good, this is bad, so on. When it comes to decline, the declination, like that disappearance means people don't see what is good and what is bad. Decline of what? Wisdom. Yeah, decline of wisdom. So people decline with the wisdom and then do whatever that they would think that this is good and then keep practicing it. But because of the Buddha's enlightenment, Buddha, it said that out of faith we believe, Buddha like understood that. And he found out what is good and what is bad and taught us. Okay. When there are so many like these principles, as long as they observe them and as long as they don't break them, they are establishing the teachings and they are supporting to establish the teaching and they are supporting not to disappear the teachings. Okay. Sometimes people think, okay, how we can support this teaching is by making a lot of buildings and taking a lot of followers and taking a lot of like spending a lot of money, and that's how we can establish the teaching and protect it. But according to the teachings, Buddha said, no, as long as you follow these principles, you are protecting this teaching without its disappearance. Okay? I will teach you 7 more principles that prevent decline. And later, Buddha said, okay, I will add 7 more. Today we study that 7 more. Okay? Probably you know this. We have talked about this in previous discussions. As long as the mendicants means, let's say practitioners. This was said to the monks, but this can also mean householders, whoever practicing, don't relish in work. Okay, first one. Loving it and liking to relish it. They can expect growth, not decline. As long as practitioners doing what? Don't relish in, making more and more happy. Don't, delight in that. Don't relish in work. Loving it and liking to relish it. They can expect growth, not decline. Why? What happens if we love work?
You have to enjoy what you do.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We have to enjoy what we do. But why Buddha wanted to say this? Don't get attached. Yeah. What happens if we only do the work? Always concerns about the work.
If we work too much, we won't have any spiritual
Exactly. That's the point.
energy.
That's the clear point. Yeah. We won't develop our spiritual practices if we only rejoice in the work. Rejoice means you can be happy about your work, but relish means like you abandon your spiritual practice, only focus to the work. Because the work won't end up until the day that we leave. We are doing something. We need to do something, right? But if someone loving it means in the perspective of a spiritual practitioner, okay? Don't tell this to your boss. Today we learned about not to relish in the work. We don't do work. I need to be super spiritual. No, not like that. We are doing both. There's a beautiful simile about this among the commentaries. Buddha say, suppose that there is a cow, and cow has this calf, and cow is eating the grass, and the same time watching where is the calf. Is the calf in danger, or does the calf need security, or does it need protection? Where are the places this calf is roaming, wandering? And make sure that the calf is safe. But the cow is also keep on eating the grass. It takes its food. Just the same way, the person do the work and also make sure that their meditation object or their Dharma understanding, their wisdom is secured. They are thinking rightly. They are trying to establish their mind on a specific object to be mindful. They are taking care about that too. What happened if the cow abandoned the calf? It's not a successful mother like the cow. It's not doing that thing, right? That's the same way, if a person is working, that they should work and also be sure to establish their mindfulness. Okay? Do you get this? Don't relish work, loving it and liking to relish it. Even it comes to the monk's life, when monk is not meditating, sometimes monk think, okay, I should do some work. I should start to build a place or something. And then after he start to building that place, that monk need to talk about the people, talk with the people, and need to find out a way to spend so that the monk can develop the monastery and something like make the building. So when concerning about all those things, mind like to concern about those things and mix all those with all those responsibilities. And then the mind tells, okay, you don't need to meditate, maybe for 5 more years. Take care about the monastery. And then, mind like that. Mind delight on that. Then the monk abandons like the meditation and then take care about these things. Probably other monks also tells him, oh, it's okay because you are thinking about the future. So let's build a beautiful like a big monastery. Then you can later meditate. Then what happened was that the mindfulness didn't work, right? It didn't succeed. That practice didn't succeed. Yeah. Because mind enjoys sensual pleasures more than the meditations. When someone tells, okay, now go and meditate, then sit down to meditate, then remember about, oh, I need to add one room to the building, another room to the building, or I need to remove this part from the building. It's a building meditation. Then mind scatters all over the place. Then it's a pain to start again to meditate, to focus to the breath. It's painful to focus to the breath. Why? Because mind found delight with the work, loving it and liking to relish it. Because mind is very easily trick you. It can trick us. Doesn't mean that you don't need to do like those works. You shouldn't like help others. But yeah, the cow and the calf. Cow and the calf. Yes. Same. And next one. So that's the first point, okay? Please remember, first point. The second one, as long as they don't relish talk. Does this make sense? Relish talk means? Even for the speech, there is such a delight when we start speaking and being happy about that. It leads to decline. Yeah. Have you ever thought? When we talk and talk and talk, it leads to decline. Decline from spiritual happinesses. Okay? Yes, relishing in talk. But this doesn't mean like talking about the Dhamma. When we study, when we speak about the Dhamma, it's beneficial to your meditations, it's helpful to your meditations, it supports your mindfulness. But if we talk other things like unnecessary things, it would lead us to decline in our qualities. Okay. What are the speeches like when we start, there is no end? For an example, do you have anything to share with me?
May dalto.
Politics.
Politics, Bante. Yeah.
Yes, politics.
Gossips.
Gossips. Exactly, gossips.
Divisive speech,
Divisive
slander,
speech.
harsh speech.
Yeah, harsh speech. Yes. When it comes to decline means spiritual qualities, spiritual practices. Let's say if a person were to concentrate their mind, if they are starting a big conversation, what happened to that concentration? Easily go away. Then we need to start it from the beginning. There are some retreats, have you heard? 10-day retreats, not allowed to talk, utter a single word. Then whatever you think, it stays in the mind, but you don't express it. You don't put it out. You kind of like forcefully like restraining your words, your mouth. That way it's support. And at the end of the 10 days, people are very happy. Yeah, relation talk. There is a sutta named Bahubani. Bahubani. Bahubani means excessive speech. If a person were to speak excessively, Buddha say they don't even know like the moment that they speak a lie because of lots of speech. And they cannot find out when they are speaking a divisive or gossip. Yeah. For a person who are practicing mindfulness, it's very important to reduce their speech. Doesn't mean that you don't speak. That's also not in the teachings, like not to speak at all. But in that time in India, during that time, there were some practices that those practitioners, disciples don't talk at all. Sometimes people live years without those practitioners, years without speaking. Whatever they were asked, they don't reply. But Buddha doesn't praise that. Buddha doesn't say not to stop your speech at all, but you speak mindfully. You can speak mindfully. But if you start up discussions without end, without stopping, it won't support the mindfulness and declines. Yeah, declines. Declines in the spiritual practices. Okay? And that's the second one. Okay. What is the first one? Yes, not to attach to work. Second one? Yes. Don't relish in talk. Okay. Please know that this part is also added to the every point. So when we feel that, as long as they don't relish talk, loving it and liking to relish it, they can expect growth, not decline. Okay. You can share some like endearing speech with the friends, but you need to know the limit. Like, if someone is starting a gossip, it's better we pause or switch the discussion to a different topic, because if we go and lost among those things, it won't support the meditation. The problem is up to you. Like your challenge is up to you next time when you sit down and you're trying and trying. Only remember about the things spoken. This happens a lot in our retreats. When we give the break, people start talking, and then when they come back to the meditation after the lunch, all they know about is the information brought by the other meditators and working on the mind, and like ghosts always like rotating around the mind. Yeah. So it's up to you, up to us to know about that, know about the limit. Yeah. What are the skillful ways we can reduce our speech?
Dhamma discussion, Bante.
What? Y- Yeah. At that time, like 1,000 years ago, when Bhantes were practicing these meditations, it said that they take some water to their mouth and they keep in water in the mouth. Then no one asks questions because they can't speak. They know that there is water. Don't speak. Anyone don't speak. Then if they were to speak, the monk is showing that water is filled in the mouth, so I won't be able to talk. And he said that at the front of the gate, they put the water out when they enter into the monastery. I don't know, it's on the commentary, not to take seriously. It's not to take seriously, but yeah, there can be such skillful ways.
Bhante, I have a question.
One person said, yeah, I'll take your question. One person said, speaking Dhamma. Can we speak Dhamma who are never heard about Dhamma or strange to the Dhamma? Can we teach about, like, speak Dhamma with someone outside to the teachings? So Dhamma discussions won't work always.
Yeah, you can't,
What?
you can't talk.
Yeah, no.
Yes, you can do that, Bante, especially in a family
Yes,
gathering.
people's
Very
views are
difficult.
different. Their views are different. Their way of
Yes.
lives are different.
Yes,
And
Bante.
yeah, ours is different. Like, yeah, there can be like, yeah, it's not important for some people. Spiritual lives, like I have friends I met, like they said, oh, I'm not that kind of a spiritual person. So then I think restraining the speech, we can't think like everybody will practice what we practice.
Mm.
But what we can do is to protect ourselves. Can we raise an umbrella to the entire world? A big umbrella? No. When it's raining, we can share a big umbrella with the entire planet. But we can use an umbrella for us. That doesn't mean like we don't care about other people. But we can support others' mindfulness if we stop, if we protect our speech, isn't it? Yeah. People might pause and ask, why do you don't speak? Then they would take an example, oh, this is how we should also practice. If a person is wise enough, I mean, not foolish, I mean, like if someone need to be mindful, would think, oh, this is how also I should practice. They need to help my inner peace. Okay.
But I share some of the lessons when we learn
Mhm.
to my coworker,
Uh-huh.
not to everyone,
Uh-huh.
but they
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, definitely. Buddha say only share the Dhamma with the person that you trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is such a teaching. If you think that they would listen to your words, share with them.
Mm.
We don't tell and go everyone and tell, practice this, don't kill, don't steal, like do why, what's wrong with you? We don't go and instruct everyone. It would be an unnecessary problem. Yeah. Yes, what is the question? Someone said wanted to ask a question from the Zoom.
Yeah. So when we practice Dhamma, how do we know if we're practicing it in the right way? So for example, in everything we can see the results. So I'm not trying to predict how long it would take me to see the result, but I want to make sure if I'm doing it in the right way or not. How do we know that?
Right after you practice something, it brings you happiness inside. That's how we know. Yeah, it's immediate when you practice something. Let's say loving kindness meditation, you think, may I be free from anger, may I live happily, may others also be the same. Does that bring you joy or happiness? I mean, like at least a subtle level, like, are you feel happy with that? That's how we know that this Dhamma is working with us. Yeah, this focus to our inner happiness, inner joy, we get to know after practicing something, if it develops our inner joy, that is working.
Also, like, how do we hang on to those skills that we're been practicing for? Like, for example, if we go to temple, we practice the meditation for at least for example, we could say we practice meditation for like an hour, and we come back. When we come back home, those like those skills that we've been practicing, I
Yeah.
feel like those skills are like getting disappeared. So I can't, like, it's so hard to like
Protect.
hang on to all those things in my daily life for days and days.
Yeah. The you asked two questions. Like the first one that you asked was like, how do we hang on? We hang on the faith. The faith support us to develop it to the future. And the second one, when you're losing something that you hardly gained in your meditations, like 1 hour session, you felt peace. When you go out, you don't feel it anymore. That means you received that kind of a calmness because you were doing a practice. That's why you were trying to do something. That's why you felt that. But it disappears not because you changed the places, but because you changed your practice. You abandoned what you were doing. But you can carry on that practice even when you go outside if you do a meditation, like off the cushion meditation. Does that make sense?
Yep. So I also want to know, like, how to develop the faith we have. Like,
Develop the faith we have, we think, about the qualities of the Buddha, which means there are special qualities like nature of the Buddha's life. Then we think over and over again those qualities as a meditation. It develops our faith. Then we trust the Buddha. Now we don't trust. If someone doesn't trust the Buddha, it is because that person couldn't see the Buddha's nature, his life, how he lived, and what are his qualities. But when we think over and over again all these things, it develops the faith. Okay, then we don't like to abandon the practice. We develop a firm trust on the Buddha, and we do it more and more easily. And that's what support the meditation. That's what support the practitioner to hang on the meditation. Yeah, I remember Alavaka, the Yaka, you know, in the sutta, the Alavaka Yaka person asked the Buddha, how do you cross the stream? How do you cross the flood? Then Buddha say, faith. By faith you cross the flood. I was expecting by mindfulness you cross the flood, but Buddha say by faith. Why? Because we need a trust to go on a journey, don't we? So trust is showing us the value of the practice. That's the light. If we don't see a light, we can be lost. You might think that doubt is coming from outside, from someone else. No, the doubt is arising inside. Yeah. Bhante, don't trust this meditation. Bhante, it won't work. Our mind asks ourselves. Then we need to trust something like the Buddha's knowledge. Then that supports. Yeah. Normally we think it's ourselves that support us to increase our effort. We take that self-view. I can do this, no problem. I know how to escape from suffering. We think like in ego way. But it's different in Buddhism. Like you develop trust on the Buddha, and that's how you move forward. Because we already have a mind impure with greed, delusion, anger. Then we need a support from someone who totally eradicated that negative things. More we develop faith on the Buddha, trust on the Buddha, more easier we move forward.
Yeah, so like even if I try so hard, like sometimes
Yeah.
I'm getting doubts about like my faith. Like sometimes I'm doubting, like inside of me, doubts about Buddha's teaching. Like it tells me like how is this 100% true? Like I just want to stop that, but it
Yeah,
just keeps happening. Yeah.
I see. That's because of lack of the knowledge on the teachings. Because you lack the knowledge on the teachings. If you teach entire sutta, or at least you read one sutta completely and try to understand it, it will leave all those doubts. And if you get more access exposed to the teachings, it would definitely take your all the doubts away. This is because lack of the knowledge, lack of the knowledge on the suttas. Please read more and try to contemplate more on the teachings. It will take your doubts away. Yeah, that's the solution for the doubt. Because we don't see the Buddha in real life, what we have is the teachings. If we read the suttas, study the suttas, contemplate the suttas, they will definitely take your doubt away. I remember in a sutta, Buddha taught that you study, and then not only it will take all your doubts away, but it will also take you out from the rebirth, like samsara, from all the negative things. Okay. Yeah.
Bante, you can also discuss and relate with noble friends, right?
Yeah, we need to continue the sutta, yeah. Sorry. We studied two. First one was work, second one was talk. What's the third one?
Sleep.
Yeah, easy to understand, sleep. If we sleep and release on that, there is an enjoyment in sleep, you know. When we sleep and sleep, there is an enjoyment. Enjoyment of the contact. There are three, I don't remember. Passa sukha, nidra sukha. There are three, like with the sleep we feel like happiness. And we tend to relish on that contact. And also when we wake up, we feel kind of a relax, don't we? To be honest, right after sleep, we feel like kind of contentment, like relax. That's also an enjoyment of the sleep. But what happens with that is it doesn't develop our mindfulness. Okay? It doesn't develop mindfulness. During our sleep, were we mindful? What do you think? Inside the sleep, are we mindful? Do you know what's going on? We don't know. We are not mindful inside the sleep. Then sleepiness is seen in the teachings as a hindrance to the mindfulness. First thing, I think third hindrance. Yeah, third hindrance to the mindfulness is the sleepiness. One need to control the sleep if one need to develop mindfulness. Okay. There are three things, I think, according to, I remember in a sutta, Buddha say three things that you won't feel complete after practicing. Three things you don't feel complete, which means insatiable. Does that make sense? Insatiable? Insatiate, like you don't feel complete. It's always lack. Sleep. One thing is sleep. We sleep, but we don't feel complete. It's insatiable. And alcohol, like drinking. It can be alcohol, whatever. But if a person were to drink, it doesn't feel like, okay, I'm content now. I feel so happy because I got the intoxication. It doesn't feel satiable. Sleep, drink, and also sexual conduct. Buddha say these three things doesn't make complete like satiability. It makes more and like wanting more and more, like the desire increases more and more. So the sleep, let's say we sleep 1,000 years, still we need to sleep. Yeah. So Buddha say if a person need to practice mindfulness, they need to control their sleep. It doesn't mean that you don't sleep at all, but not to relish on that, not to delight on that, not to think that's the complete happiness in my life. Okay, sleep. How many now so far?
Three.
Three. What are the three? What's the first one? Work,
Sleep.
talk, sleep. Okay. Next one, company. What is company?
You associate.
Yeah, when we associate with others, it's a company. But this association, if it's overdue, like over associating. Yeah, what happens if we over associate? Always go in a group and always try to be in the group and over associating. But they say if someone is made happy by that and relish on that, delight on that, it won't support it leads to decline in spiritual happiness. Okay, of course we are making bonds, like we are making relationships, and we need to be happy with the relationship. We need those groups, but if someone do that only and relish on that and take delight on that, think more and more about that, that leads to decline. Okay, this is actually over. After all, like the bottom line is that one need to dedicate oneself to the practice also. When everything goes along in the life, they need to engage with all those things. But at some point, they also need to go into a peaceful place and sit down and try to meditate. One thing that I found out for myself is hard to meditate is because I expect perfection in the meditation. Because I read so many suttas and I think, okay, today I need to be enlightened. I sit down with that expectation. So I think it should be perfect. The meditation session, at least sitting like 30 minutes, it should be perfect. And that's the biggest problem to the meditation. Because finding a perfect session. No, there's no such a thing. Probably we won't find enlightenment, but at least we try to sit down. Because sitting down is such a hard thing to do. Sitting down in one place without sleep, without work, without talk, without company. Sitting down for ourselves, it's so difficult. So yeah, we can rejoice. At least I try to be with myself. Try to be with myself. Let's say that we grown so much older and we lie on a bed and our eyes are not working well. We don't hear other people talk. Our body is like declined. It's not working well. In that moment, can we go and talk with others? Probably not. We can't find the companies all those times. Then what we have is our own mind. Then it's a very good opportunity for us. If we do it now, in that moment, in the future, we can recall to our memory and to our mind the practices we did, the times that we lived with us. We can rejoice in that, the times that we lived with us, the simple times that we spent with us by sitting. Yeah, that will bring us so happy. Oh, those moments I also tried. Because there is a sutta that if a person were to do, like follow these things, only follow these things like work, sleep, company, all those things, they would have a painful death. Like the death for them would be a painful one because they couldn't practice something for themselves. Then if we remember about the people who were in the company, there was this person, that person, this person, we feel so sad. Oh, I can't go back. Okay, that's why it's good not to relish in the company. This doesn't mean that you don't go to the world and you are separating from the world, but this means you are taking time for yourself. Okay? How many?
5,
Yes.
4,
Work, talk, sleep, company. Please remember all things, right? All the line. As long as the mendicants don't relish work, loving it and liking to relish it, they can expect growth, not decline. As long as they don't relish talk, then this is only sleep. This doesn't mean sleeping. Don't relish on sleep. Relish on company. Fifth one.
Well, Bhante,
Yeah.
on the company, there is a slight contradiction because we are encouraged to have Dharma friends. So, which means to enjoy company.
Yeah, this means so if that is true, the Dharma friends should do the meditation for us. Can they practice mindfulness for us? I mean, let's say I ask my Dharma friends, please, friends, meditate breathing for me.
Does it really mean they do this for us, or that they are company in which we discuss Dhamma, in which we learn Dhamma?
Even discussing Dhamma more, like too much, would be difficult, like would be challenging for us if we don't meditate.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Thank you.
meditation itself can teach you that not any discussion can do.
Okay.
Yeah, all of the conclusion of all these things are to sit down and to meditate. That's why there are these discussions.
Okay.
Companies, but they say that's the only reason why you need to follow a teacher, to be in a company, to have an association, to study, to learn. The only reason why you need to do all these things is not that Buddha wanted to make followers, but Buddha wanted us to do meditation. Okay?
Thank you. Good.
You're welcome. They don't have corrupt wishes falling under the sway of corrupt wishes. Here the corrupt wishes means, I will give you just an example, one example. Say there is a person who is not enlightened, but he acts like enlightened being. That's a corrupt wish, corrupt wish. Why is it corrupt? Because it's not true. It's a deception. It's deceiving another maybe for the respect. That's a corrupt wish because that person is using that Dhamma, the practice, to deceive others. That can happen because this mind is very tricky. The mind is very like cheating, deceiving others. Yeah, deceiving ourselves and others. So it's a corrupt wish. One needs to let go the corrupt wishes. Buddha say if one carries a corrupt wish, it leads to decline. Okay? Someone is not mindful, but acting like a mindful person, showing to others like a mindful person. A person is not wiseful, but showing others. Person is not ethical, but showing others, pretending themselves to be like ethical. Corrupt wishes. So that lead to decline. And the next one, they don't have bad friends, companions, and associates. Let's say that we try to practice something, kind of a meditation. Then if someone were to disrespect that and ask not to do, asking like, are you crazy? Why you meditate? We are meditating. Why? What's the purpose of meditation? That's a bad association, bad friends, according to the Dhamma. If they don't have bad friends, this means they have good friends, supporting friends who supporting the practice. Then they won't decline. And again, the next one, they don't stop halfway after achieving some trifling distinction. They can expect growth, not decline. If they don't stop halfway, sometimes people, when they get a slight attainment, like let's say a simple peace of mind in their meditations, they think, okay, I did everything. This is my enlightenment. But it is just a simple peace of mind. This happens to people who meditate and attain jhanas. Jhana is not enlightenment, but people think I'm worthy of honor. Other people should bow down. I'm a jhanic, like meditator. I can meditate easily. I don't have sleepiness. I can keep my body straight for long hours. Then think, oh, I did what has to be done. I'm enlightened. Then if someone think like that, it leads to decline. It blocks the meditation. If they don't think like that, they can expect growth. It grow. This is why humbleness, like letting go of the conceit, is very beneficial, very important. Okay. If we think always that I need to learn more, meditate more, study more, that protects us. It's the protection. If we think even for little things like, okay, I know, so it is it stop the meditations. Okay, it stop the growth. It lead to decline. As long as these 7 principles that prevent decline last among the mendicants, and as long as the mendicants are seen following them, they can expect growth, not decline. Okay, 7 things. Buddha taught these things to the Bhantes at that time for the future generations, which means for us. If we were to practice these things, we can easily attain higher stages, and we can grow in the teachings. Okay. This is not something to end in a discussion. It's not something to finish after a discussion, but this is something to practice. Okay. Sound.